KEI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
The Drive will be... It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Think about it.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Excited to be back here, Jim Gum in the studio with me. I'm Andy Morris and Ryan Felton on the board. We're a little distorted at the moment. I think we're getting it figured out. There we go. Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Andy Morris here along with Jim Gum, Ryan Felton, getting this board figured out. And we appreciate him filling in for Slim Money Mason, who's coaching some middle school baseball. So he's going to be not here more often than not here during the spring. And listen,
Getting a tan.
Cry me a river. We miss Jacob. Whatever. Yada yada yada. I had to say something nice about Jacob and then follow it up with something to kind of rib him a little bit. Excited, very excited about today's show. Of course, Jim, we've got Barrett Sallee from 680 The Fan, Braves Radio Network, pre and post game host. Barrett does such a great job. I'm a big fan of his from a professional standpoint. What he does in his coverage, and I've got a lot of Braves questions to ask him.
Yes, 680 The Fan is the flagship station, of course, and they do a great job of covering the Braves. He knows a lot about what's going on there with the Braves. Also, later on in the show, we're going to this morning I interviewed the vice president of marketing for the Chattanooga Lookouts on Mixed Mornings, and we're going to play a portion of that interview. His name is Dan Kopp, and talking about the new ballpark, some of the tickets, all the different seating capabilities.
Listen,
if you will. They got the kid zone over there.
Erlanger Park is beautiful.
Listen, you got kids. We've all had young kids. They've got a lot of energy. A lot of energy. The last thing they want to do is sit in a seat for 9 innings of a baseball game. They got a kid zone over there just beyond left field. That's going to be awesome.
The days have changed because, as you're saying this, I'm taking myself back to my childhood at Ingalls Stadium, where I was down the third baseline playing in the gravel driveway there. Remember?
Yep.
So times have definitely changed, and now kids at that age are able to go do all these different things around the ballpark. And Erlanger Park has so many great things to offer. I can't wait. I believe we've got some of our friends down there that are going to set us up to be able to do a live show from Erlanger Park.
April 14th on a Tuesday. That's
signed, sealed, delivered. Jim Gum.
Tentatively planned. We'll see. I'm sure that they can make that happen. We'll make that happen. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm very excited just to get down there and be a spectator and see everything because the ballpark is beautiful. They're getting the turf put down, the grass is put down.
The dirt's supposed to go in the infield, I think, in the next couple days. So that's going to be cool. And it looked like the parking lot has been graded. It looks like it's probably getting ready to put gravel and then asphalt down. So,
what'd you call me? Anyway, so I'm excited. Just on a serious note, you guys know I like to joke around, but Jim has called me things that start with that same sound before. But as far as Erlanger Park goes, I'm going to attend several games on a non-professional level this year where I just go down and enjoy myself because I love being at a baseball game. I love looking out at the diamond and hearing the crack of the bat, and not much of a better place to do that this close and this convenient to your own home, just down there in Chattanooga.
What's going to be cool is the fact that the concourse is 360 degrees. In other words, you can walk on the concourse around the entire ballpark. That was something you could not do at AT&T. It just didn't happen. There was nowhere to walk beyond the outfield foul poles.
You'd get stuck in kudzu and roll down a hill is why.
That's true. Yeah, Hawk Hill was not designed for that. But this new facility is top-notch. I can't wait. I want to make sure I get a chance to go in the center field area that's glassed in, the batter's eye, that you can still look out. you can see them, but they can't see you. So they still see the dark green or black for the bat, pick up the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand. But fans will be able to sit in there. That's going to be cool, man.
Yeah, you'll be able to call balls and strikes from that area of the stadium almost. And
oh, by the way, did you hear about Chris Sale? He said he is not going to challenge any pitches.
Yeah, I did.
I do not believe that.
This is how well Jim pays attention.
I do not believe that.
I said that on air the other day, and Jim was researching something and just ignored what I said. But no, I agree with you. I think at some point in the heat of the moment, he's probably going to get frustrated with a call and just do it just to show up and umpire. But I think for the most part, he'll probably be one of these pitchers that does it less frequently than others.
I would think a catcher would be more likely to do this,
and that's an organizational thing. I think they're going to be on the coaches, the catching coach, bullpen coach, those guys, pitching coach. They're going to say, listen, Drake Baldwin has a great eye. Sean Murphy has a great eye. We're going to trust these guys. We're going to trust these guys. So if you think maybe you've got a question about one of your pitches, all you got to do is kind of tilt your head and look at Drake, and he's either going to shake his head, yeah, I'm going to challenge, and then do it, or he's going to look back at you, Chris L, and shake his head, no, we don't need to challenge that one. There's going to be some internal communication there between the catcher and the pitcher to where Drake Baldwin more often than not, Sean Murphy more often than not is going to be the one making the call. And they're going to look at it maybe when we call up a young 20-year-old pitcher who's full of energy and wanting to question every call, and they're going to say, no, you keep your mouth shut.
Obviously, I think you need to, decide, hey, listen, guys, we're not doing this in the first inning. We're not doing this third inning, nobody on, 2 outs. It's got to be a crucial situation. Later in the game, men on in scoring position, stuff like that. That's what I would do if I was a coach or manager, but we'll see. We'll see how this all transpires.
I like leading off with a little baseball here on the drive.
Man,
very exciting.
It's baseball weather out there, man. It feels good out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I came in wearing a sweatshirt, and I'm like, I should take this off and enjoy this weather a little bit because I don't need the sweatshirt. It's nice out. But
and I've got a jacket on for some crazy reason. I don't even know why.
And next week, guess what? We're going to get back down into the
40s.
During the day, 40s.
The highs in the 40s.
20s at night. So not
high
looking
in the
forward.
mid-40s. So, this every year our weather around here does this. It kind of teases us. It's like a little tease here. And then next year, reality is like, oh, by the way, it's still wintertime. And listen, Puxatawny Phil, he saw a shadow, right? So that gave us 6 more weeks of winter. So you got to believe the rodent.
Yeah, this is another one of those false springs. Believe the rodent. I love that. This is definitely a false spring. It's a teaser saying, hey, it's right around the corner, but not yet, fellas.
That's right.
Not yet.
That's right.
Hey, once again, you're listening to The Drive presented by Hardees. Download the ESPN Cleveland 1013 app. All you got to do is go to the Google Play Store, go to the Apple App Store, ESPN Cleveland 1013. Type that in. You can go to our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com. And also, Ryan's got us streaming on YouTube, Facebook. Check us out on there as well, ESPN Cleveland 1013. As we said, at 5:15 today, very excited to have Barrett Sallee, radio host for 680 The Fan and the Braves Radio Network. And going to talk several things Major League Baseball with him, but specifically Atlanta Braves baseball.
Oh, yeah.
A lot going on with those pitchers down there. We vented about it yesterday. Going to talk to Barrett about some of these situations, maybe with the DH spot as well. That's been a big question mark down there in Atlanta. And
little fun stuff going on.
Yeah, who's excited or maybe not so much excited to
that's
DH.
more the thing. Who's not? Yeah, exactly.
But another fun thing that I want to talk about, and I'm in the middle, I'm texting with Coach Howard Pride right now, head basketball coach at Cleveland High School, and he just confirmed he is going to join Jim on the show tomorrow at some point, so we'll get Coach Pride a time. And Coach Pride, him and Will Campbell, head coach at Walker Valley, co-district head coaches of the year. So both those guys doing a great job. Of course, Walker Valley, Will Campbell, they've been one of the most dominant teams in the state. And Coach Pride, those guys were picked at the bottom of the barrel in this district and finished number 2 in the district. Very impressive job in what he's done in a short amount of time.
Coach Pride's done a great job, and we're excited about that. And we will have him as a guest tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow, we got Rich Clark, the director of the College Football Playoff. Again, we had him on. I can't think, it was right before the season began, and now we've got him again to get his take on this past year's 12-team playoff. Of course, we're going to have 12-team playoff again this coming season as well. We'll get his take on what all happened during the college football playoffs again. And, we've got some good questions lined up for him, so excited to be talking with him tomorrow. But we got Barrett Sallee today at 5:15, and then we got Rich Clark, the executive director of the CFP, tomorrow at 5:15.
As you say, Rich Clark, no confusion between Rich Clark and Tony Clark. Did you hear about Tony Clark today?
Listen, honestly, I think this is a good thing for Major League Baseball because the way things were trending, it was almost a guarantee we would have a work stoppage next year. I think maybe it still might happen, but I think the odds are less than what they were this time 24 hours ago.
So to follow up with what Jim's saying, Tony Clark resigned today as president of the MLB Players Association, and this is in the wake of an alleged financial improprieties with the union. Some very sketchy things potentially going on with the Players Union, which if you look at Major League Baseball, this is basically the same thing as the Players Association in the NFL or in NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony Clark was their representative, and he was the one, as you said, Jim, he was pushing potentially for this lockout in the name of representing.
Starting December 1st.
Yes, in the name of representing these players. So I do think, as far as that goes, this is potentially a small victory. Whoever is going to represent these players, the Players Union, that is still going to take a stance, obviously, for the players.
Mm-hmm.
But Major League Baseball as a whole has got to get this figured out well before next December. Well before.
Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of people have the opinions about, and it's all about salary cap or no salary cap, and you know what, I'm probably going to ask Barrett Sallee his opinion about that too, but whoever the new guy's going to be, I don't know if the player stances are going to change at all, but would he be willing to negotiate a little bit with the owners, whereas Tony Clark had zero interest in negotiating that at all. So we'll see what happens. But Tony Clark had pretty much made it clear that there was not going to be any discussion about any salary cap. So we'll see if whoever takes over has any at least desire to at least discuss it. We'll see.
Yeah, very excited. As Jim said, we're going to speak with Barrett Sallee at 5:15, right?
That's correct.
So should we go ahead and push for a little bit of an early break to get him on at 5:15?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that because I've got a lot of stuff to ask him. You do too. We could probably get him on for maybe 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, we've got several things to ask Barrett. Also, we got to talk some high school basketball district tournament. Full go. We are having district tournament action that has already taken place tonight. We're going to get all that info to you as well. All that right here on The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. When we come back, Barrett Sallee.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Good morning. This is your Hardees 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm. We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any 2 for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardees. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the General Manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Text us at 423-749-1013 on the Warren and Griffin text line. Cleveland's personal injury attorneys.
When an emergency happens, every second counts. That is why Park Ridge Health System is working to bring a new, high-quality, 24/7 freestanding emergency room right here to Cleveland. This ER will expand access for families in Cleveland and Bradley County, and it will give Polk County something it doesn't have today: dependable, around-the-clock emergency care. Together, we can make it happen. Visit ParkRidgeClevelandER.com to learn more and add your voice in support. That's ParkRidgeClevelandER.com.
Tax refund checks make a great time to trade in and trade up to a Honda True Certified Pre-Owned Honda. At Honda Cleveland, a Honda True Certified Pre-Owned vehicle is like a brand new Honda, but for thousands less than new. Every true certified Honda is carefully inspected, backed by an outstanding warranty, and comes with complimentary oil changes and 24/7 roadside assistance. There's even a 3-day exchange policy.
I just love the customer service. They're very customer focused. I've been very pleased with Honda Cleveland.
Or if you're just not ready to trade in yet, Honda Cleveland makes it easy to take care of the ride you have. Buy tires or parts or have service done now, and pay over time with up to 3 months interest-free, with no hard credit check, and a 90% approval rate. Smart timing, smart options, and a smarter way to drive something you'll love. Honda Cleveland. Your car, your way, every day. I-75 exit 20, just 1 mile east. Hope to see you soon.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Mayfield Dairy Chocolate Milk is a great recovery drink for athletes or anyone who exercises. Rich in calcium and vitamin D, get Mayfield's famous chocolate milk at multiple locations near you, and find out more at mayfielddairy.com. And, of course, Mayfield Dairy, a big sponsor of Atlanta Braves baseball right here on ESPN Cleveland. And joining us right now, Barrett Sallee, radio host on 680 The Fan, pregame, postgame with the Atlanta Braves radio network. Barrett, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, just gearing up for the season.
Yeah, man, it's right around the corner. All right, first question. Hypothetical question, Barrett. If every position player in Major League Baseball was a free agent tomorrow, how long would it take before Ronald Acuna Jr. would be taken?
12:02, I would say, a.m., because first you got to get Shohei off the board. Everybody would call about Shohei first.
Yep.
And then Ronald would be up there, maybe Aaron Judge, maybe 12:03 a.m.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And I was thinking top 5 for sure, no doubt about that. But you got him top 2,
sure,
maybe top 3, yeah.
Yeah, once again, we're joined by Barrett Sallee. Go ahead,
if
Barrett.
he's healthy, there's no doubt.
Yeah, when he's healthy, exactly.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, once again, joined by Barrett Sallee, radio host 680, the fan of the Braves Radio Network. Barrett, Andy here, very excited to talk with you. I talked during our first segment about, on a professional level, I'm a big fan of yours, enjoy all the Atlanta Braves coverage that you do, and specifically was watching some stuff on YouTube last night, and it was pertaining to Jurickson Profar and I want to say the established controversy about when he was asked about being the DH. I think people are looking way deeper into this because he was a little reluctant to be excited about being the DH, and I thought you had a great point on that.
Yeah, I mean, why would he be excited about that? Why would anybody other than Marcell Ozuna be excited about that, right?
Right.
And look, I think with that quote, there was another sentence right after that where he says, I'm going to do anything to help the team. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. He wants to help the team. There is no doubt. He wants to play in the field. Why would he not want to play in the field? Of course. But, I think all these guys, and, for the last 2 months of the season last year, we were kind of searching for topics to talk about. And the designated hitter spot came up a lot. And they're going to have a 4-man rotation in the outfield, with one of them being a DH most of the time. But now, I think with Jonah Heim catching, Drake Baldwin's going to be a DH more than maybe we thought when Sandy Leone or Chadwick Tromp was going to be was slated to be the backup catcher. So, I think you're not going to bench Profar for Yastrzemski. So he's going to play a ton of left field. But the whole controversy just seemed odd to me because, like I said, unless you're Marcell Ozuna or, somebody who clearly is only a DH, players want to play, players want to play. But I think toward the end of the season when, some of these guys, if they're all healthy, Profar might have 135 starts in right field, but is also a designated hitter as well. Their legs are going to feel better, and they're going to know that their legs feel better going into the postseason. So, I didn't know what else he was supposed to say. I thought he answered it the way that anybody who is a competitor should answer that question.
Yeah, and I do think the DH position for the Atlanta Braves this year is going to look a lot different than the way it looked when Marcell Ozuna was anchoring it down. When you've got a guy like Ronald Acuna, who I know he's saying he's at 200%, but about halfway through the season, let's see how Ronnie's feeling, and it might be a good idea to utilize the DH position for him a little bit more than not.
For sure. And then I think you should throw in the part about this team where they're going to run more. Ronnie didn't really run last year when he came back. In the Caribbean League, he was 11 for 16 in stolen bases. And then they go out and they get Antoine Richardson to be their first base coach, who helped. I think was the primary reason Juan Soto had 30-plus stolen bases last year. Clearly, stolen bases are going to be a big part of this game plan, this team this year. So if you're Ronald Acuna, you want your legs fresh. So getting off of them once every week and only being the designated hitter is probably a good thing for that aspect of his game. So just everything about it, the designated hitter spot, but everything about the roster in general is extremely fascinating because there are so many moving parts. There's so much positional flexibility that Walt Weiss, he's going to – I wouldn't say he's got his work cut out for him, but he's going to have to be a lot more creative than Snitker because, that's the way this team is built, which is a feature. It's not a bug.
Right. I saw on X, Twitter, for those out there that don't know the difference. Anyway, X is now what Twitter was, that the Braves still have the best roster in the National League East. And Baseball Prospectus even projects the Braves to have the best record in the East this year. Where does Atlanta hold the biggest edge over the Phillies and Mets, in your opinion?
I think it's depth. You look at the Mets lineup, the massive overhaul. You look at their projected lineup, and it falls off a cliff on the back end. The Phillies, I've never really thought that they were 1-9 really that much of a threat. If the Braves come back healthy, then the roster not only is deep, but the moving parts, like I said, the way that you can sort of move those chess pieces around, makes it a really, really scary lineup. And I know the pitching staff has, been a point of contention with the injuries and stuff, but I think the Braves can have the best bullpen in baseball. I really do. And that matters in a huge way when you're evaluating teams before the season because the bullpen is such a big issue for so many teams. So, I think you have to, if you're making those lists, you have to assume everybody's going to stay healthy. And if you're Pacoda or Baseball Prospectus or whoever, you look at the Braves and you're like, they're pretty loaded everywhere, even after the Schwellenbach injury from a starting pitching rotation. So it's going to be a fun season. There's no doubt.
Yeah, you speak of those injuries, and yesterday, new Braves manager Walt Weiss sat down with our friends there at 680, Nick Cellini and Chris Domino, and discussed the Braves' rotation dealing with those serious depth issues with Spencer Schwellenbach and Hurston Waldrep, which we're kind of waiting to see what Hurston Waldrep's outcome is, if it's surgery, if it's sitting for a few weeks. But now with both those guys possibly on the long-term IL for the foreseeable future, seemed like Walt Weiss' response was a little bit more of a next man up mentality. But in your eyes, how important is it that Alex Anthopoulos is proactive sooner than later as far as adding to that depth?
Yeah, I kind of thought that – I always thought he was going to add a veteran pitcher before the start of the season. And I think there's no doubt. He's going to. But I think he was waiting for leverage. And, I think now if, Chris Bassett signed and Zach Gallen signed, but let's just say pitcher X, whoever's a top 5 pitcher out there on the market now, wanted 2 years. Alex might have to give him 2 years now because of the injury to Schwellenbach and potentially Hurston Waldrep. I don't think he needs to go out and get 2 veteran starting pitchers, because I'm still a Bryce Elder believer. I mean, people ask him to be a number 2. He's not a number 2, but he's a perfectly capable number 5. Which is, if the season were to start today, it's what he would be. But that's not the ideal situation. I do think that they'll go out and get one. I said this on the air yesterday that the timing of the Hurst and Waldrop injury really, really hurts because I think Chris Bassett would have been an Atlanta Brave this time last week. But the Braves weren't, willing to meet him where he wanted to be from a financial standpoint, and he signed elsewhere. So, I think that was plan A probably, and so now they're kind of working through some other things. But I firmly believe they'll sign somebody before the end of spring training.
Barrett, there's been some talk about Major League Baseball maybe expanding to a couple new cities. If Major League Baseball were to add 2 franchises sometime in the future, would you like a city like a Nashville or Charlotte to get a team, or would you prefer Atlanta to remain the only franchise in the Southeast? I'm not including Miami and Tampa Bay because Florida just seems like it's different than the rest of the Southeast. If one of those cities did get a team, would you prefer it to be an NL or an AL franchise?
Well, I think if they expand, they would do away with American League and National League altogether. But I think Nashville would be great. Braves country is Braves country. We all know that. But Nashville is a hotbed. I think they've already copyrighted the name Nashville Stars. They've already got hats, I believe, for a baseball team, even though it doesn't exist yet. I'd be fine with that. A little regional rivalry would be great. I think it's great for the people of Tennessee to have something to build off of and sort of grow with. And that could be a big rivalry. So I'm fine with it. And then I think West Coast, you'd probably have to go Salt Lake City. That's just, to me, that's the next. It's almost like it's the Nashville of the West Coast, where it's booming in terms of population, and having a team there just would make a ton of sense. So I'd be fine with Nashville. I think it'd be great.
Is Montreal an option in your opinion?
Look, I think it should be. It's not the Expos' fault the Expos failed. The fans, it's a lot like what happened here with the Atlanta Thrashers. You continuously put a bad product on the field, people will stop going.
Right.
They'll just, why would you invest your money in that? If it's like buying a ton of stocks right before the 2008 recession. Like, this is not a good idea. So yeah, I would love it if Montreal had a team, but I think it's that ship has kind of sailed, because I think in America, especially like Nashville and Charlotte and other places, there have been a lot of cities that probably deserve it more than Montreal since they moved to Washington in 2005.
Right.
Yeah, once again, we're joined by Barrett Sallee, radio host for 680 The Fan and the Braves Radio Network, along here with Jim and Andy. So one thing I want to ask you, Barrett, we're talking about possible expansion and stuff, and as a proud member of Braves country, I cringe when I hear Nashville getting a Major League Baseball team. I just want to throw that out there. But if blank has a solid year on the mound or at the plate, the Braves will win the National League East. Fill in that blank for us.
If Grant Holmes has a great year on the mound, and if Michael Harris II has a great year at the plate, those two things need to happen. Because if you're the Braves, you're asking Grant to be a solid number 3 or number 4. That's fantastic. If he can do what he did before he got hurt last year, and Michael Harris, we've talked to him a lot, and he actually loves batting ninth. And
interesting.
I like that.
If he can be anything other than what he was last year, then you can put him in the 9 hole. Then you can put Ronnie at number 1, and Ronnie would be driving people in other than himself, which was a big problem last year. That's why Ronnie got moved down to the number 3 spot. He was batting behind Nick Allen.
That was not good. That was not good.
No, it was not. So if Michael Harris comes back and things work the way that they want, he'll bat 9th, and everything will be back to what it was in 2020. Maybe not what it was in 2023. That might be getting a little greedy, but they want Michael to bat 9th, and Michael wants to bat 9th.
That is interesting.
That'd be great.
Barrett, are you a pro salary cap guy or an anti salary cap guy?
I'm a pro salary cap guy because that's the only way we're going to have baseball and me have a job in 2027. I think there needs to be some flexibility. The luxury tax tiers and things like that, you can kind of work it in where there's a soft cap and a soft floor. I think that's the way you probably have to get it done. And I think, especially with Tony Clark resigning today, it's a really good chance for the Players Association to, try to find a representative that will still have their best interests at heart, but recognize, a work stoppage would be just devastating to the sport forever. I think there needs to be something, but I think really more than anything else, there needs to be a floor, a hard floor, where, you can't have teams just, spending no money.
Agree.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, those of us that remember the stoppage in '94, the strike in '94, that was terrible for the game. It took a long time for Major League Baseball to recover from that. Although we got to enjoy ourselves in '95, there were still a lot of baseball fans that took a long time to get to come back to the game.
McGuire and Sosa home run derby. I mean, that helped.
Yeah. That definitely helped. That's what brought baseball back. If that didn't happen, then that's, I think, a big reason why they looked the other way when it came to steroids too. They knew they couldn't compete with the NFL. So got to find a way to make it interesting. So
yeah. So Barrett, things are in full swing down at Northport. Right now, I'm kind of putting you on the spot with this question, but I have a feeling that you have somebody in mind. Who is a dark horse to break spring training, making the opening day roster?
J.R. Ritchie.
I like that answer.
J.R. Ritchie. And part of that would be a negative. Part of that would be a negative thing, because what if Grant's not ready? What if Ronaldo Lopez isn't ready? I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if there's a chance that they could get hurt or they just aren't 100%, I think J.R. Ritchie is going to be good enough in spring training to turn enough heads to say, okay, you can at least be up here. I think if it's not J.R. Ritchie, it might be Didier Fuentes. And I think it's one of those things, though, where it might be a bad thing, not a good thing. Because, like I said, pitching is at a premium. The Braves have organizational depth, but they also have two relievers turned starters who are coming off of injuries.
Barrett, I know you're there in Atlanta and you keep up with all the sports going on in and around Atlanta. What's the general consensus down in Atlanta about the hiring of Stefanski? And I want your opinion of what's going on with James Pierce Jr. Of course, here in Big Orange Country, people are concerned about everything going on with him.
Yeah, I think most people here are okay with Stefanski. His track record, at Cleveland, two-time Coach of the Year. It's hard to do that anywhere, much less in Cleveland. And so I think they are, generally speaking, the fans are fine with it. The defense, the way the way that they got after quarterbacks last year was a welcome sight. Now, obviously, Pierce had a lot to do with that, but I think the general feeling is that it's fine, but I think there's also a wait and see kind of feeling to it too, just because it's the Falcons. It's like You can't get too excited because eventually how the story's going to end. And with Pierce, it's out of sight, out of mind. Put him in the back burner. Don't even think about him, because as far as I'm concerned, he's not going to play for the Falcons ever again. If that changes and more information comes out where maybe he's not as culpable maybe as the charges indicate.
In Ozuna type situation. Yeah. A Marcell Ozuna type situation.
It's exactly right. Marcell Ozuna basically defended himself from being stabbed and got arrested for it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the case is with James Pierce Jr., but I think, out of sight, out of mind until further notice.
Barrett, last question I've got for you. Obviously, the finger injury to Ha-Sung Kim as he slipped on some ice. It's sounding like he's a little bit closer. I know. Can we talk about something other than injuries with the Braves? But it does sound like he's going to be a little bit closer on his return than further away. Have you heard anything on that?
Yeah, Alex he spoke 2 days ago, and it sounded like he was further along. It sounded like early June, if not the end of May. And I think that was, I think initially they hoped that, but then they kind of backed off of it. And so to get back to that point where they feel like it's going to be the beginning of June, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. But my goodness, like slipping on some ice in Korea. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's wild. That's wild. Hey, Barrett, we appreciate you taking the time to join the show. Of course, look forward to watching the Braves game, getting in my car to go fill up my gas can to finish mowing my yard during the pregame show and all that stuff. And you do a great job with that. And
Thank you.
Definitely, that you become a daily listen for me during the summertime during Braves baseball season.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate that.
So, once again, for 680 The Fan and the Braves Radio Network, Barrett Salee, we hope to speak with you again in the future, man.
My pleasure.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, good stuff there from Barrett Salee. And you talk about a guy who came into a position, took over for Kevin McAlpin, who for years held that job down, did a great job, and Barrett has picked up and not missed a step.
Well, he loves the Braves.
And listen, that's a tough job, too, because especially when you have a year like last year with the Braves where things started going bad, you're out of the race, and you're dealing with these injuries, and you got to find some positive things to talk about, and that's a lot harder in a year like last year than when you're in the race to win the division or when you've got a guy who could potentially win an MVP. During those seasons like last year, that's a hard job, and Barrett held it down and did a really good job with it.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to go over the winter games, and we'll give you an update on the medal count as well.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
For a limited time, get Hardee's Big Cheeseburger with 100% American Angus beef for just $4.99. That's a deal no one can beat. Actually, we can beat it. Because you can also get Hardee's hand-breaded chicken sandwich for $4.99. The Pick a Sandwich deal. Only $4.99. Only for a limited time. Only at Hardee's. Participating restaurants only. Tax not included.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell.
Not all composite decking is the same. Enjoy life's beautiful moments on an equally beautiful composite deck. Envision's products feature deep, non-repeating grains and distinct colors throughout each pour, offering a truly unique appearance unlike anything else on the market. Learn more and find inspiration for your project at Cleveland Plywood. Cleveland Plywood Company, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center having a huge sale on Goodyear tires. Buy 3 Goodyears, get 1 free. Don't forget the Cleveland Tire Center service department for alignments, oil changes, and more. Cleveland Tire Center, 4699 North Lee Highway, where the name says it all. Goodyear, more driven.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Center for Sports Medicine. Prefer to plan ahead? Online scheduling for urgent and ortho walk-in care is available at sportmed.com. Once again, that's Center for Sports Medicine, sportmed.com. And Jim, from what I understand this morning, I usually catch it. Was busy this morning, didn't get to hear your interview, but had a good conversation with the VP of Marketing for the Chattanooga Lookouts, Dan Kopp.
Right, exactly. So we had an interview with him, and we're going to replay that for those of out there that want to hear, because today is the first day you can purchase tickets to watch your Chattanooga Lookouts in 2026.
Hey, Dan, how you doing, man?
Good. Hey, can you guys believe it's baseball season?
I'm telling you, it feels like baseball weather outside,
I know.
you know? So, listen, I was looking at the website today, the camera. You've got the field, it's got the grass on it. Of course, it's getting ready to take root and everything. So the ballpark is coming together. Looks like they're installing seats down the left field line. So tell us a little bit about the Erlanger Park. And, of course, opening day at home is April 14th. Of course, the Lookout's open on the road at Columbus and at Birmingham prior to that. But tell us a little bit about the ballpark.
Yeah, so as you said, the ballpark's coming together. Dirt is coming next week. We have seats going in. It's just every day it's something different, and we are so close to opening day. We're under 60 days to opening day, and tickets, 10 a.m., you can get your tickets to opening week at lookouts.com.
So tell us a little bit about the different seating options out there. I noticed that you've got different things to offer folks this, in the new ballpark. I did notice something really cool. Anyone that has young kids know that they have a lot of energy and they need to do stuff. You have a kid zone out there beyond the left field stands. Tell us a little bit about that and some of the other areas.
Yeah, as someone who also has young kids, it is going to be invaluable. The cool thing about this park is that, you can actually walk around it.
Yes.
AT&T Field, you couldn't walk all the way around. This is a 360 concourse. And you have the kid zone in left field. You have a berm that you're going to be able to go and just sit and relax. We're going to have concourse passes this season, which is our version of general admission. So you can get one of those, come to a game, and just walk around and hang out on the berm or take advantage of one of our drink rails. And then we're going to have a lot of seated options as well. Really nice sit-back seats. Gone are the bench-style seats that you would see at AT&T Field. We just have so many neat little seating options. We have also some, more elevated seating options. We have these half-round tables that come with weight service. You could go to Erlanger Park 8 different times and experience it 8 different ways.
We're talking to Vice President of Marketing, Dan Copps, for the Chattanooga Lookouts. Tell us a little bit about this left field grassy hill berm. Is that something you sell, or do you go there? Tell us a little bit about how does this work?
Yeah, so you'll buy, it won't be a berm ticket, but it's a concourse pass ticket or a berm ticket. And you can go with your family, and you can just bring a blanket and just sit on the berm and watch baseball. It's just a really classic way to be able to watch baseball. It's also, the most affordable option to be able to come in and watch Lookouts baseball this year. So it's a really great option for families, again, and it's right next to the kid zone, right next to concession stands and food. And it's just a really neat area of the ballpark.
We were talking to Rich Mazingo. He was on our show on ESPN, and he was talking about the Club 400 in center field, the batter's eye, if you will. Tell everyone about that. This is a very unique feature.
Yeah, so it's the Kubota Club. There's only one other place like this in all of minor league baseball, and it's in Fort Wayne. What makes it neat is if you go AT&T Field or any other ballpark, really, in center field is a green wall that you can't use. It's just painted green. But here we've decided to put a group space with specially tinted windows that Major League Baseball allows us to use, so we can have people in there, and you can watch the game right through center field while also just enjoying a drink or enjoying food. And the coolest part, in my opinion, this is the best view in all of the park, is there's a rooftop aspect to it. So you can go up, bring your group, bring your friends. You can book it for a group and go on up and watch a game on the rooftop, which is really neat.
That is real cool. And you've got other suites and club seating as well, correct?
Yes. I mean, the luxury experiences at Erlanger Park are going to be top-notch. And you'll be able to, we just did, you might be able to see it on the camera. We have these seats called cabanas, and they're going to be just really nice way to watch the game in the shade. Shade is obviously, as most people know, was one of the biggest issues at AT&T Field. So we have included a ton of options with shade and luxury seating and air conditioning, just to make sure that people, are able to, in the summer, really come out to the game and take advantage without sitting and baking in the sun like you did at AT&T Field.
Now, Dan, obviously, it's a big upgrade from AT&T, but, looking at the park, you got 2 months to get this thing done. You guys Feel good about getting it done on time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we feel great. I mean, we have a field, we're going to have seats, and we're rocking and rolling. We're actually in the offices right now. We moved in a couple weeks ago. So my office is at Erlanger Park, so I get to see the progress every single day, which is really cool.
So tell our listeners out there, what's the best way to go about ordering tickets and group sales and stuff like that?
Yeah, so lookouts.com. So single game tickets go on sale 10 a.m. today. So go on sale today for that opening week, so April 14th through April 19th. We're going to have a lot of promotions. We're going to announce as well. I will give you guys a little hint. There will be a lot of fireworks. So lookouts.com. That's going to be the best place to do it. I'd buy them online. Now, if you want a group or you want to see what kind of season tickets you might have or take advantage of that Kubota Club that we talked about, call us. Call us 423-267-2208, and one of our wonderful salespeople will be able to take care of you.
And, of course, that's going to be the opening day, or the home game, I should say, versus Montgomery on Tuesday, April 14th. And, Dan, we are so excited about it. I'm going to be out there. We're actually going to be doing our show live that afternoon, so we're looking forward to it. So, man, congratulations on this new ballpark. I think it's a great ballpark, maybe the nicest AA ballpark in all of the United States.
Yeah, and it's definitely the most unique, just with the incorporation of the old buildings from 1936 and 1882. It's going to be really special, and also it's not just going to be about baseball either. There's going to be so many different events that take place there, so it's going to be a really neat thing for Chattanooga.
Absolutely. Dan, appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good stuff there from Dan Kopp, VP of Marketing for the Chattanooga Lookouts, and Jim Gum knows how to lead an interview, I tell you that.
I'm excited about this new ballpark. Listen, I always said that AT&T was built cheap, and it was. If you ever went there, you knew.
It was a pop-up stadium.
The bottom, like 7 or 8 rows were made of concrete. Everything above that was just aluminum and steel, and it started to deteriorate. You saw issues if you'd go there. So this ballpark is 100%, concrete and steel, reinforced concrete, and I love the fact it's a 360-degree concourse. That's the thing that excites me, because I like to walk around, so I'll go to the left field stand, watch the kiddos playing there. Then I'll walk around near the left field berm, that grassy berm that got outside of left field. Then go to the center field batter's eye area. Then go to right field, and then all the way around. So I'm excited about it.
The coolest thing about Erlanger Park, in my opinion, is the ticket price variety. If you want a really good seat and you want to spend a little extra money, nothing's expensive there, first of all. But you're going to be able to have some really good seats. But you can even buy tickets for that berm, as you talked about.
Absolutely.
Anyone that's familiar with going to Grapefruit League games during spring training,
take a blanket with you.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Bring your blanket. Most of the time they let you bring in your cooler with your waters and stuff in it. You go sit out there and you watch a ball game from the grass, which is really neat. Kids can take their gloves, catch foul balls. Like I said, I'm really excited to get in there for the first time and just kind of soak it in. There's nothing like walking into a ballpark for the first time, not just the first time ever, but even I look forward to Braves season this year when for the first time this season I walk into Truist Park and I smell the smells, and I walk through that tunnel and I see the Jumbotron and the players warming up. That is such a good feeling.
The grass is a little greener. It just, there's the way these guys, I guess the guys, I guess they're field turf experts, how they, not field turf, but natural turf experts. Man, they're like putting greens out there, especially these newer ballparks, how they do it. So, yeah, I'm excited about getting out there and checking it out. So, yeah, this is a humongous upgrade from AT&T, a huge upgrade.
Jim, I know you're a lot like me, and I'm listening to you talk about the turf and everything and how it's almost perfect. It's like walking on carpet, by the way.
Yeah.
Had the opportunity to go out on the field at Truist Park last year, pregame during batting practice, and literally the grass feels like you're walking on carpet. Isn't it funny? I know you're a big sports history buff like myself. Isn't it funny to go back and watch, like, games from like the 1950s or the 1960s.
The fields weren't like that.
And it looks like they're playing in like a backyard sandlot because they did not know how to upkeep and take care of that stuff. That's part of the evolution of sport. One of the things that I look at and really enjoy.
Yeah, you watch old NFL films and you see mud and stuff like that.
Or a baseball diamond on the NFL field.
Yeah, you don't see football games played in mud because the turf is perfect. Even natural grass. Baseball field, you see bald spots out there where the left fielder and the center fielder and right fielder stood a lot. And, but things are so perfect now. It's kind of like the athlete themselves. Now sports medicine and the way that people work out and keep themselves in great shape. Man, it used to be spring training. Guys would go there. They're out of shape. They put on about 10, 15 pounds over the winter.
Now they're fighting to make a roster, so they want to come in almost in peak condition.
Well, they never really truly stop.
Yeah, which can be a little concerning at times. So I listened yesterday, and as we spoke with Barrett Salee during our last segment, I have been trying to take in a lot of how certain players, especially the veterans, come into spring training. Those guys not so much are having to worry about getting a roster spot, so they're coming in a little bit more relaxed. And, hey, this is where I'm going to take my opportunity, kind of like what you just said, to get ready for the season. You've got some of these other guys like J.R. Ritchie, who was mentioned, who he's coming in. Hurston Waldrop, he didn't want to be in Gwinnett. So he was ramped up. He was throwing – he hit triple digits. He hit 99, 100, and everyone was kind of raising an eyebrow like, man, this guy's already hitting that, and we're in spring training.
Right.
And then he has an injury. So there's a lot of concern around these guys coming in midseason form when it's such a long season already. I think there's a gray area in there that a lot of people are going to figure out, and there's a guy who I think's done a really good job at that, not necessarily a pitcher, but a guy in Mike Trout who says he's going to be patrolling center field for the Angels.
Again.
Excited to see him back in center field, who, if you look at what he was able to do the first half of his career, he won a bunch of MVPs. He won Gold Gloves because not only could he crush the baseball, but he patrolled center field just about as good as anybody. And last year we saw him 106 starts at DH, 22 in right field. Getting back to his natural position is going to be a good thing for Major League Baseball.
Staying on the baseball theme, is there any particular player on the Braves roster that you're most excited about heading into the 2026 season?
I honestly, I asked Barrett that question, if blank has a good season at the plate. I think Michael Harris is a great answer because he struggled at the plate last year. We saw some spurts that he was getting back to it toward the end of the year, but him being able to anchor that ninth spot down is going to bring things back to Ronald Acuna. But if there is one guy that I feel like is going to have an absolute just 180, I think it's health-wise, I think it's approach-wise, I think power-wise, I think we're about to see a huge year from Austin Riley.
I think Austin Riley's going to make a big comeback. Spencer Strider's the one I want to see. He didn't look like himself last year after he came back.
Because he wasn't.
He's supposedly, well, is anyone really 100%? He's probably as close as you can get. But I'm excited to see if this guy's going to get back to what we were seeing when he first came to the major leagues. That's the guy I want to see. If he can do what he's capable of, you got a Chris Sale and you got a Spencer Strider. That's pretty stout, man.
Yeah.
Pretty darn stout.
And I like the Grant Holmes answer as well. That's a guy who's now going to probably be your number 3 guy in the rotation. And pitching is an issue for all major league teams now. It's hard to keep your pitchers healthy.
What do you think about Barrett Salee saying he thought the Braves had the best relief corps in all of Major League Baseball?
I think they do now.
Well, they got what's the guy's name from San Diego? They got
so I'm gonna pull up the depth chart here. Suarez is who you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the biggest acquisition the Atlanta Braves made during the offseason. I know Michael Yastrzemski was a really good addition as well. But
you've got Iglesias who figured things. He struggled a little bit last year, but again, once he got back to who he was pressing there for a while, and it was obvious.
He was.
But he's a good closer. Robert Suarez is who we got from the San Diego.
That's the biggest addition to the Braves.
And he easily could be the closer. So
I think there's a good chance he may evolve into that. He may not start the season there, but I think there's a good chance he will be up at the end of the year.
Well, so whenever you're overworking Iglesias, you're going to have a guy who can pick it right up.
Yeah.
But there's guys like Dylan Lee, low-key was we talked about it, one of the best relief pitchers in all of Major League Baseball last year. And toward the end of the season, You talk about a lot of miles. Dylan Lee, he threw a lot of pitches.
He did.
He was used a lot. But you look at other guys like Aaron Bummer, Tyler Kinley. This is a bullpen that is built, has good middle relief, and has good back end. So I do think the Braves bullpen is the least of the worries, when maybe a year or two ago might have been one of the biggest question marks.
I think Matt Olson, I think you could probably expect around 40 homers from him. Austin Riley, 35 to 40. Ronald Acuna, 35 to 40. You got some huge bats there in that lineup, and if those guys all can stay healthy for the most of the season, the Braves are going to. They shouldn't have an issue scoring runs.
Well, I like the outfield depth too, with the addition of Yastrzemski, along with Profar, who hopefully isn't going to serve any more PED suspensions. 80 games last year. I think he learned
his lesson.
I think so too. But in Acuna and Michael Harris, those four guys, that is the best outfielding core in all of Major League Baseball.
Pretty good now.
You've got so many bright spots for this team, but everyone's focused on the starting pitching right now. Why? Because it's scary. It is scary seeing these arms drop at this rate. It seemed like we were 3 days into spring training, and 3 guys went down, a guy per day, essentially going to Jimenez as well. So,
do you agree with Barrett Slee's assessment? That he feels like the Braves have the most talent and the deepest roster in the National League East.
I think so. Obviously, there were some teams like the Phillies, the Mets, who weren't able to quite piece things together. Now, they go out and spend money, but they don't always spend that money
wisely.
You're exactly.
Right. They don't.
So they spend money, and they get in a contest with each other. Who's going to respond because so-and-so signed so-and-so?
Well, the Mets are always trying to outdo the Yankees.
Yes. And so they don't necessarily focus on, hey, what's going to make this team mesh well. The Braves have always been good at that, going back to the John Schuerholz days. So I think Alex Anthopoulos is keeping that going. This is a team that knows each other well. Guys are getting healthy. Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, Sean Murphy. You've got depth at catch. You've got 3 catchers that are legitimate starters anywhere in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Baldwin, the future's bright there.
So the rotation and getting Hassan Kim back at shortstop, being solid up the middle, is a big deal. So those are the 2 question marks, really. But outside of that, there's a lot to be excited about if you're an Atlanta Braves fan, unless you're Josh Rogers and you just want to be negative about everything. That's how mine and his text message go most of the time. But, hey, I do want to talk about some high school basketball, some big stuff going on last night and tonight. In girls action last night, Ooltewah beat Howard. So now Ooltewah will be playing Cleveland on Thursday. If I'm correct on that. And tonight, East Hamilton versus Walker Valley, that game right here on ESPN Cleveland, correct? Or, excuse me, it's on Mix 104.1. So East Hamilton versus Walker Valley, girls action tonight, 6 o'clock on Mix 104.1. Terry Evans and Greg Phillips will be on the call right after this show. Click it over to Mix 104.1. You'll be able to catch those guys. The winner of that game, draw the short straw, and we'll play Bradley.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
But, again, that's a team that's rolling right now. Kimora Fields is going to be back for the Barretts. So a very, very dangerous Barrett team will be taking on the winner of that East Hamilton-Walker Valley game again tonight, 6 o'clock on Mix 104.1. In boys action, last night, Bradley Central beat Ooltewah. So now Bradley advances to play Cleveland. That game will be on Friday. And I believe, Ryan, you help me out here. Is that game going to be on Mix or ESPN? Do we know an answer to that?
I'm not sure where that one is yet. I would assume that would be in here because I believe the Walker Valley boys would be on in Mix, but that one's stay tuned for that one.
Rumor has it there's a rivalry between those 2 schools in everything.
Just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit.
Before, yes.
Just a little bit. So East Hamilton and Howard in boys action tonight, 7:30. The winner of that game, again, draws a short straw and has to play Walker Valley. That's another team that's rolling here. So some big things happening in the district tournament. By the way, all these games at Ooltewah High School. So if you want to get out and watch some good high school basketball, support these young athletes, head on down, right down the road, right down I-75 here to Ooltewah High School, exit 11, and you can catch some good hardwood action.
25 minutes you can be there. No problem. Assuming there's not bad traffic.
Yeah. So, again, I do think this game tonight, East Hamilton and Walker Valley, should be a competitive girls game, 6 o'clock on Mix. And then also followed right after that game, East Hamilton and Howard. Howard's got a good boys team.
They do.
So
they've got some athletes there now, no doubt.
They're, again, playing the winner of Walker Valley plays the winner of that East Hamilton-Howard game. So a lot going on with high school basketball. It's postseason time. It's a fun time with the winter sports, of course. We talked about it yesterday, wrestling, state tournament Friday and Saturday up there in Franklin as well.
It's fun, but it's also sad because you see these seniors. This is it for a lot of these guys. Last time they'll ever play competitive basketball or on the wrestling mat or name the sport. Once that they've either won the championship or they've been eliminated, it's sad. It really is, because most of these kids do not go on to play collegiately. That's just fact. So
the good news for our area, there's a few that are, and they're pretty dang good.
They are.
So, hey, with that, we're going to call it a show today. For Jim Gum, I'm Andy Morris. Have a great evening, everybody. Stay tuned. Mix 104.1 High School Basketball with Greg and Terry.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Well, good evening. As traffic gets heavier now, northbound on 75, traveling up through this construction zone. It's been tricky the last hour or so out here, north and southbound on 75 around East Brainerd Road. Watch for radar south of Chattanooga throughout the evening on 75, down through Catoosa County, especially as you get closer to the Ringgold area. If you get locked out of your house or car, call Rick's Lock and Key in Chattanooga. That number, it's easy. 892-1700, Rick's Lock and Key. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center.
Your financial future deserves a clear forecast. Call Alon Planning Partners today.
Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441. Here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
Mostly cloudy, fairly mild, and a little breezy overnight. We'll drop down to 55 degrees in Chattanooga. Heading through the day Wednesday, we'll have a high of 68, mostly cloudy through the day. Slight chance of a sprinkle. Record high on Thursday. We're going to climb up to 78. The record is 77. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Thursday as well with a sprinkle or two. And then we'll have some showers early Friday, clearing later in the day with a high of 73. Rain likely through the day Saturday, a high of 65. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Your current Milligan Vane temperature is 70 degrees. MilliganVane.com.
Good morning. This is your Hardees 2 for $5 breakfast mix and match alarm. We've got fluffy eggs and sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit ready. Or perhaps biscuit and gravy. Ooh, maybe a sweet cinnamon roll. Wake up and smell that sweet deal. Mix and match any two for just $5 for a limited time. Only at Hardees. Don't snooze on the app. Snag juicy deals, order ahead, and get to work on time. Maybe. Exclusive app offers for registered My Rewards members only. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Welcome to Mountain View Nissan Country, where automotive excellence is our top priority. At Mountain View Nissan, we take pride in offering you the finest selection of vehicles.
Don't miss the Paul Feinbaum Show, weekday afternoons from 2 until 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Always topical, always entertaining. Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineered Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
Afraid to talk about or put down another caller. Won't y'all have a real point, a real come with something that you believe in, something that you can speak on? Man, sometimes I just want to pimp slap some of y'all sitting on here wasting time, then calling multiple times. Man, if the Hall of Fame callers don't call multiple times, don't your ass call multiple times. Sit your butt down and save that material to the next day. Now let me talk to these Georgia fans that come on here every day, Paul. They're amazed. Kirby? Are you talking about Kirby? No, you can't be talking about Kirby, the greatest coach of all time. Let me tell y'all something. I told y'all 4 years ago that Kirby Smart was at a crossroads. He could either go the Nick Saban route or he could go the Dabo Swinney route. Because there was one time Dabo Swinney was the king of college football. Everybody, Kyle Turd, everybody said he was going to be the next Saban. He had won them 2 titles. He was on top of the world. He was getting athletes left and right. But it slipped away. He didn't quite become Nick Saban. And there's Kirby Smart. It is slipping away, Georgia. You don't want to accept it, but it's slipping away. He's headed towards Dabo Swinney. He's done lost it. He's 2 years behind the Big Ten, just like Alabama's 2 years behind the Big Ten. Now that gets me to Stephen A. Smith. I like what Stephen A. had to say yesterday. I don't always agree with Stephen A., but that ain't the point. You don't have to always agree with somebody to like them. That's what America needs to realize more than anything. But I love what he had to say about Alabama. Man, it ain't DeBoer ain't a great coach. He just ain't great at Alabama. You look throughout history. Any soft coach, DeBoer, Shula, DeBose, that idiot Franzoni, any soft-spoken coach that wasn't a hard-driving disciplinarian never won a damn thing at Alabama, and neither will DeBoer. Stephen A. was dead on it. Greg Bird, stop wasting our time, money, and years, and go find the next Saban or Brian, dude, or give the job to somebody who can. That's the way you do it, Pony League. Elvis has left the building.
Derek is up next in Louisiana. Hello, Derek.
Hey, Paul. First-time listener, long-time caller. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Brent Venables, the Oklahoma Sooners, what that defense is going to bring this year. And also, I had something from for Bob from Georgia. Now, Bob told me he stole the ball back when he played in 1945. Well, I don't think in football you steal the ball. I mean, maybe on a fumble, but maybe football was a little different back then. But what do you think of Brent Venables and what that defense is going to bring this year, Paul?
Well, I'm pretty upbeat on Oklahoma. I mean, their defense let them down a little bit last year, mainly Ole Miss and Tennessee. But other than that, well, Alabama I might add as well. But it was a good year. I don't think anybody can look at Oklahoma and be too disappointed. Mateer getting hurt really put a crack in the ear. But if he's healthy, I think Oklahoma is another CFP contender.
I hope so, Paul. And like I said, last name, Boomer Sooner, and thanks for taking my call today.
Thank you very much, Derek. Great to hear from you. We continue with your phone calls, and Edwin is up next in Fort Worth. Hello, Edwin. Go right ahead.
Hi, Mr. Feinbaum. I'd just like to remind the guy that called in about handing the football off to the referee back when he played. The forward pass was illegal, and a field goal counted more than a touchdown.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for the update. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cam is up next in Georgia. Hey, Cam, go right ahead.
Yeah, hey, Paul.
Hi there.
Yeah, how are you doing? Well, no, the hell with how are you doing? Everybody else says that. What I'm really interested in what last year's bowl games. There were a lot of players that opted out of playing in a bowl game. What I want to understand from you is what opt out means.
Well, Cam, thanks for the call. This has become a problem in recent years, and a lot of players, if they're not in a CFP game, and it's even happened there, Penn State quarterback 2 years ago, backup quarterback, they just don't want to play. They don't. They think there's little value, and it's really the way of the world. The bowl games just don't matter. I know that's going to upset a lot of the old guard, but there's very few bowl games that are significant. Now, I don't want to insinuate that people don't care about them. There's a betting line and there's a great television audience. But unless, because of the CFP and now 12 and obviously more down the road, they just simply don't have the same value, and players who are more concerned about their NFL stock just don't want to be there. And not only their NFL stock, a lot of players are already looking to go somewhere else at the time. Elliot from Ohio is up next.
Paul Feinbaum, thank you for taking my call. Elliot from the SECisoverrated.com. I really enjoy Bill Connolly on your show. In his article, he quoted Greg Sankey as saying, Greg Sankey told Yahoo, this was last month, he said, that there are limits to the league's commitment to a national organization if the rules aren't being enforced in ways that they would prefer. It sounds like Greg's still trying to throw his weight around and threatening. And he ends this article by really talking about how the soul of college football is these other teams that can usurp the powerhouses. So do you think that the SEC would ever break away and have its own thing? Is it just threats? Why is Greg always wanting to take the football and go home?
Well, first of all, Elliot, you've done a masterful job consistent with all of your other diatribes about misrepresenting, mischaracterizing, and completely skewing the meaning of what the commissioner of the SEC said. He is not threatening anyone. He is not threatening to take his ball and go home. And once again, you have swung and missed at the theme here.
Well, I just read the article. I'm not swinging and missing at anything. I'm just reading the article. I'm reading the facts of the article, Paul.
Why don't you do all of us a favor, Elliot, and read it again? We'll be right back. More to come here in the final 50 minutes on a Tuesday.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
Your new home for 24-hour sports coverage. ESPN Cleveland, 101.3. From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center.
Forecast your future with confidence. Reach out to Alon Planning Partners.
Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441. Here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland, 101.3.
Mostly cloudy, fairly mild, and a little breezy overnight. We'll drop down to 55 degrees in Chattanooga. Heading through the day Wednesday, we'll have a high of 68, mostly cloudy through the day. Slight chance of a sprinkle. Record high on Thursday. We're going to climb up to 78. The record is 77. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Thursday as well with a sprinkle or two. And then we'll have some showers early Friday, clearing later in the day with a high of 73. Rain likely through the day Saturday, a high of 65. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Did you twist an ankle? Hurt your shoulder? Or maybe that weekend project left you with more than sore muscles? Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Our Urgent Ortho Walk-In Clinic in Cleveland is open Monday through Saturday, treating sprains, strains, fractures, and more. No appointment needed. There's no need to drive to Chattanooga for expert orthopedic care. Call, schedule online, or walk in today and get back to moving pain-free. Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. The Center for expert care right when you need it.
Honda of Cleveland is giving away a brand new 2027 Honda Civic to a deserving coach this year. From Pee Wee League to the college level, all athletic coaches are eligible. Each month, we will choose a coach for that month, and at the end of the year, the 12 finalists will gather to be celebrated and see who wins that brand new 2027 Honda Civic from Honda of Cleveland. Nominate your favorite coach at mymix1041.com.
Check your wallet. Empty? Check your bills. Overdue? Check your stress level. Maxed? Now, check into cash. Check into Cash is your one-stop money shop, and we've got everything you need. Payday loans and flex lines of credit options? Check. Quick in-store services like money orders and wire transfers? Check. Turn your unused gift cards into cash? Oh yeah, check. And yes, we cash checks. All kinds. Fast. Check that off your list. Visit checkintocash.com or check into a store to get started. The process is simple, quick, and designed to get you the help you need fast. If you've been approved, you can leave with cash in hand. We have locations in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens. Check in, cash out, and get on with life. Check into Cash. We fund today to make a better tomorrow. Subject to state regulations, eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply. Visit a store for details.
Hey, this is Alfonso, the general manager of Crown Cleveland, your local home for Jeep and Ram. I'm here to announce that we have revamped our express lane. We are fully staffed and ready to take care of all your quick lube and oil needs. Please Google Crown Cleveland and see our great service specials.
Cleveland Tire Center having a huge sale on Goodyear tires. Buy 3 Goodyears, get 1 free. Don't forget the Cleveland Tire Center service department for alignments, oil changes, and more. Cleveland Tire Center, 4699 North Lee Highway, where the name says it all. Goodyear, more driven.
And stream Paradise on February 23rd on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
This is TGL on ESPN, live in prime time. Come on! Join Tiger, Rory, and the PGA Tour's biggest names in a season-long head-to-head competition. Oh my! Combining the top players with advanced technology. More screens, more moving greens, more history in the making. Yes! It's golf reimagined. TGL, presented by SoFi on ESPN and the ESPN app. All of TGL, all in one place.
How about basketball straight ahead? South Carolina taking on the Gators down in the Dome. And we're back, and G is up next from Atlanta. Hello, G.
Hey, Paul. I want to come back. Thanks for taking my call again. I want to come back with the guy was saying about night when the referee, when he played back when they handed the ball to the referee. Were you talking about the time when the referees and umpires, when the flag was red?
I think so, Jay.
Yeah, and Paul, you got a program back then, and when they were this player with this position, in tackle guard, and you know what those players do? Those position was he sat at the end of the bench and he guarded the water in the Gatorade, and he would tackle anybody that got near it.
Well said, Jay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You bet. Take care of yourself, buddy. Expired is up next. Hello, Expired.
Hey, Paul, you ready for some who's hot, who's not? Here we go, big dog. As a Republican, and you really got to follow this one. As a Republican that I am, AOC running for the Democratic presidential candidate is hot. Stephen A. Smith running is not. That means he's pretty good.
I like it.
He really interesting. He really was interesting yesterday. Anyways, Buffalo Trace is hot. And the mixed blend of Crown Royal is not. Stimp, my boy Stimp, bringing that hard heat is hot. Brian from Tulsa whining and moaning about somebody saying something crazy on this show is not. John from Louisville. Here you go, John from Louisville, since I was number 7 on your list. John from Louisville is hot. Pony League is not. Signing a new $69 million contract is hot. $6.7 million contract is not. Reading and comprehending, Paul, is hot. Just being a dumbass from Ohio is not. Paul, you have a great day. Giggle.
Thank you. Eddie is up next. Hello, Eddie. Good afternoon.
Giggle. It sounds like he should have said sick him. I don't know what's going on. Hey, but Legend, you up to it again. Elvis, you are up to it again. We had this conversation. Don't worry about Georgia. What you need to be doing right now is going to an alumni banquet and getting back in the good graces with your people down there. Everybody knows that the book is coming out. Legend, the conquering of an empire. How you single-handedly broke down Alabama's program. You done almost destroyed the football program. You right behind the basketball program. As far as the program, honestly, I think that it should be sanctions. They playing grown men that's in the league. So every sport across the board should lose a scholarship. So that way, Legend, when he write this book and everything out there, you know what I'm saying, he can chip in because he already started the buyout for DeBoer.
Brad in Macon is up next.
Man, I was 56 years of Grambling State. He put over 200 players in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
200. So that's a lot of players, Paul. That just shows you the excellence and what kind of program he had. But, Cousin Shane's awesome. Cousin Shane and Bratton's two of my favorite guests you have on. And what he's talking about, Kirby almost painted himself in the corner, winning 2 natties and 2 SEC championships right there back to back. And he's right. I wouldn't say buck him out, but I say the eyebrows are up. And if we don't get that done this year and win a playoff game, there's going to be some people that are going to say, what the hell is going on up there at Athens? Because we should be able to do it this year for sure. But Paul, thank you very much for taking my call, and have a good rest of the day, brother.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. Blake is up next in Pensacola. Hello, Blake.
How you doing, Paul? I feel obligated to say this first-time caller, long-time listener.
Thank you.
Couple alcoholic beverages in. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just hate on a couple of your callers.
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, first off, idiot.com. The SEC overrated is rated.com does not exist. I've looked it up. I'm sad I mentioned that I did. I shouldn't have. And then, if you ever listen to Old School, pay attention. He sounds like a clucking chicken. Once you hear it, you'll never forget it.
Blake, thank you for that enlightenment. We appreciate it very, very much. So let's check in. Another guy that once you hear him, you will never forget it. John is up next.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey, John.
Hey, Paul, really quick here. Just heads up, I really do appreciate your comments about Jesse Jackson. I didn't agree much at all with what Jesse Jackson was all about. But, one thing I liked about him, Paul, is that he stood for something. And he stood up for a cause. And that's one thing that our country lacks right now. Somebody like him who, even though you may not agree with it, et cetera, he believes in something, he's going to fight for it. And with that said, Paul, you have a good evening. Good night.
Thank you, John. Well said. And quite a tribute to Reverend Jackson. Trey is up next.
Oh, Eddie from Georgia, with all that talk, and DeBoer has beat Kirby 2-1, and he's won one more playoff game than Kirby. And is that not a fact, Paul? Is that a true statement?
Well, first of all, it's a little bit. DeBoer won a playoff game at Washington against Texas, and he won a game against Oklahoma. Kirby has not won in a while. But he's when you've won 2 national championships, you beat Oklahoma in overtime in the Rose Bowl to play for the national championship. You've got a pretty good resume.
I would totally agree with you, Paul, because I've told you before that I love Kirby. I was talking about the playoffs. But let's get to something real quick. Question for you. Has anybody else having problems watching SEC sports on ABC as I am? I've talked to a bunch of people, and all it does is hesitate. No matter
okay,
hold on.
Now, hold on. Let me make sure I understand. You're talking about ABC, the network, which shows the games during the season?
I am, because I called Xfinity and they said.
Well, hold on. What problem? What type of
it's
television?
Like a glitch.
Okay. What type of system do you have? Cable, satellite, YouTube? What do you use?
I use Xfinity Stream.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering,
yeah, my guess is it's the app that you're using. It could be slow. What type of Wi-Fi do you have?
It's Xfinity Wi-Fi, but it's charging me out my rear end for it. I think I have the best they have.
Yeah, it seems like it's what's the name of the company? Xfinity.
Yes,
it seems like it's a Comcast issue, not a AB. Because I've watched the ABC games on 2 different, one on satellite, and now on YouTube television, and I've never had a problem.
I have one more quick question for you, Paul. How come in especially women's basketball, UConn, South Carolina, and LSU, they're there every year, great coaches. How come the transfer portal has not affected them as much as we have seen in men's sports? Because they're dominating no matter what's going on. And when I say dominate, they're dominating sport, Paul. You might have a team get in there when they get to the reach to the Final Four, but those 3 teams are dominating that sport right now.
Yeah, I think, Trey, in a nutshell, I think you're talking about developing players, and you're all